Yo, what's up? So I've been doing a lot of Heroic Lich King on a few different characters and a few different kills. And this last one, someone suggested that I do a quick VOD review of it. So I'm going to do that. That's pretty much what this is. Ahead of time, I'm not perfect. You're going to see me make mistakes and I'll talk about them. I'm not Orlando or fucking Take Note. They're gods. You can check out their channels. They have some POVs as well. Also check out the Warlock Discord, your one-stop shop for everything and anything Warlock related. Okay? Big brains in there. They'll help you out better than I can. This is just going to be me kind of pausing and fast forwarding and going over my kills, or the last kill we had yesterday, or sorry, excuse me, the day before yesterday or something like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's get into it. Okay, so before you pull, the first thing that I want to say is there's a portal over here that I have that you're not going to see now, but I'll show you when we get there, okay? And then also make sure your soulstone's up. I had to get a soulstone tracker. You can search it in the Discord or the wago.io to make sure you have one, because it's very important to get one. I also like to put this on much earlier, a couple minutes earlier, because it'll come up on cooldown again towards the end of the fight, and it can be very helpful. Make sure you have a Hellstone, and then make sure your buffs are above 20 minutes, because, or whatever your kill times are, because if you have 10 minutes left on a flask, the fight is much longer than 10 minutes. It'll fall off, and you might forget unless you have an alert or a weak aura to tell you, okay? I parked my pet here just so he can already be attacking, and he's not over here by me. And then I didn't do it on this pull, but I usually pre-pull with the Shadow Word up so I can save the global, because you're going to keep Shadow Word on cooldown. It is of the utmost important to keep Shadow Word on cooldown to negate. It negates Infest with you. Infest is like the main problem in like the whole raid, it feels like. And every single person in our raid, besides Warlocks, I think, are wearing Shadow Res, okay? And this is because of Infest. So you can just Shadow Word as a Warlock and it negates everything. It's really nice. Yeah, that's about it. Do your I'm not going to go through my whole rotation, but, you know, just do your pre-live tap, pre-pot, and then I open it up with the UA because I have 4-piece and I'm hoping it procs right away. Send my pet in, do your typical, you know, nothing cool. Throw your dots on there. Normal thing that you guys already know how to do. Pop your cooldowns and just rip. I throw a grenade right here just when the ads come out for some cheap damage on the boss, as well as a little bit of cheap padding damage on the ads, which while we're talking about ads, you don't need to do anything to them. Don't put corruptors up. Don't put UAs up. Don't do anything, even the shamblers. I will say there is a Warlock who's on Imp or Improved Curse of Weakness duty. We rotate. It's Pink Clitty this time that does it. And he has to put on the Shambling Whores and the Raging Ghouls. If you're that guy, put it on the Shambling, Lich King, and the Raging Ghouls. It actually does help a lot. I'm waiting for my 4-piece proc to just proc, and I resnap my corruption, right? Always resnap, wait for that and resnap it. Sometimes it takes forever. We know how it is. It's fucking miserable. And just stand here. So the first trap, so the one big thing that happens is the traps, right? You see his trap come up here soon. Obviously move out of the traps, but you can just get out of there earlier. I'm trying to wait for it to pop up so I can show you. So you see how he has a shadow trap, and DBM tells me, but also chat bubbles tells me. And that's a big deal from a weak aura, Foji's weak aura to be exact. Because if you do not have that on, yes, you can see it land, but it's kind of hard sometimes if you're just looking at everything and you're just playing the game, you might forget it. So go to your interface settings, go to the search and type in bubbles and make sure chat bubbles are showing, because it helps a lot. Move out of the way, if you need to, move out of the way of it, right? And just keep sending your damage. Do normal ship. This is all you can really do in phase 1. Single target the boss. You shouldn't have to use any cooldowns here. I mean, not any like your Hellstone or nothing like that. Use it if you need to, but if you have Shadow Word up full time, like it's coming off cooldown right now, and I'm going to reuse it right away, just keep it up full time so you can help with the Infest, because it actually really, really does help. Ask your healers, they'll tell you. Okay. Fast forward a little bit going to the phase. So this next phase coming up is going to be phase 2. The first thing that I do is you're going to see me, well, I don't do it now because I have to boot away because I got a trap, but usually my portal's right here. And when he's running in like 70, you know, 70% or like 70%, 70.3 or whatever, I'll re-haunt no matter what, and re-haunt and re-UA no matter what, how much time is left on it, just to refresh them. And then I'll Curse of Doom or Agony or whatever, but I'm not doing it because I have to put Curse of Elements up. One of your Warlocks should definitely 100% put Curse of Elements up before this phase transition, because look at Deary, he's pumping it, and we have 3 mages. And the mages kind of sit on this outskirt right here, and they slam into the boss for the entirety of these 1.5 and 2.5, right? So that 13% or whatever it is, additional damage on there is a big deal. Also, I didn't mention Necrotic Plague. If you get it in the phase, obviously you're going to run to your... We only run the first 2 or 3 to the ads, so listen to your people, but that's a good time to boot too. If you have to boot, you have Necrotic Plague, get your boot or get your Plague over to wherever it needs to be, okay? So yeah, he's in a transition, full pump into him. I have a trap. This is why I boot way over here and almost hit this trap. I'm glad I didn't. I would have got flamed. So I'm booting to get to my other side because I can't be on this side of the platform. When we do this phase, we have 3 piles. We have 1 over here, 1 in the middle, and 1 here. This is group 4 with some healers. This is group 3 with some healers. And this is just the rest of the raid in melee, right? This is to negate, or not to negate, but reduce some of the damage that the ice spirits do. What we do is if someone gets an ice spirit, you just exit from the group so it minimizes that AoE damage it does. The hunter's over here pew-pewing, and there's another hunter over there. pew-pewing the ice spirits. You can throw a nightfall proc on it, or like a quick searing pain if it's really annoying or the hunters are bad at it. This phase is really boring. You have the raging spirits come out. Make sure you send your pet there to him, because if you don't, like I don't know if mine is right now, your pet will sit on Lich King and die. Normal, he won't do that, but on heroic, he'll just fucking die. So make sure that you send him on these guys, on the raging spirits. Just keep pumping these spirits. There's nothing really to show. Make sure you don't get fucked up by them. Slam into them, all your damage. Now, so when you go back into the phase, you'll see my portal here. I always reportal because I only have 2 minutes left on my phase, and where I reportal is kind of important because this is the Valk path. Sometimes the Valk path moves, like where they take them, or where like we cheat over here, so the Valks run this way. And if you get a defile and you run, I always run to the right with my defiles, right? But sometimes you can go to the left, and that's that's in the middle of the path. I mean, so I try not to do that. So I always kind of reportal and cheat over here. So if I get it, I can just run this way. Plus, my boots are on cooldown from phase 1. So if I get it, I really am not going to make it far. So I kind of want to already be on. If you can imagine this ledge, this edge right here, this light beam or whatever, crack. That's where we need to dump over here. I want to be as close as I can to that. So then I can get over there really quick without my boots because it's on cooldown. When you have your boots, it's a little bit different because you can just, port over there. I mean, get over there real quick. A really important thing to not do that I messed up on a couple times once is if you run a defile out here, don't portal back, because it's like first nature, secondhand nature, or whatever the term is, to boot and then boot and then port back to your spot. But if you do that, you can boot, port back, and then get taken from the Valks. And it happened to me last night. I don't know why I wasn't thinking about it. I booted and I ported back, and then immediately got sucked up by the Valks, and they dropped me off and I died. So just make sure you don't use your portal. So sit there, portals back up, and just slam into the boss. This is when you want to keep all your dots up. I don't do it perfectly, so don't tease me. But you keep all your dots up on the Raging Spirit and the Lich King. Make sure you have your haunt macros like you use on Professor Putricide, where you have a haunt focus target. You press it, it only goes to your focus target, so you can keep it on Lich King the whole time. And then keep Shadow Word on cooldown for Infest if you can. And then what else? I'm saving my cooldowns for the Valks when they come down as well. Now, for the Valks, though, right here, you see the Valks come down. I think he takes one of the Hunters right here, right? And then 2 are stuck in the middle, okay? So you don't need to touch this one because it's a Hunter. If it goes to a Hunter or a Warlock, leave it alone, because the Warlocks, that's why we're portaling. If you didn't know, the Valks will take you and throw you off the edge of the cliff, but they don't drop until they're at 50%, right? If they take a Hunter, the Hunter can get dropped, turn around, and disengage back to the platform. If it takes a Warlock, it can drop me and I portal back up. So that's very important to do, okay? What to do with the Valks? I don't seed. I don't mind seed. I know where there's 3, you should seed. People seed all the time, but right now there's no Valks up top. But when these guys come back, they go to the top, right? And if you seed, it kind of just splits all that damage. I feel like it's better to, I don't know if it's better or not, but we were asked to like specifically single target these guys down. So I'll UA corruption each of the Valks, and then I shadow bolt whatever one is the highest, or maybe even like try to get some shadow embrace up on all of them. But I feel like that's better to get damage up on the Valks that go rather than just seeding. When 3 of them come down, I will still like UA corruption all of them. I don't know if I should or not, or maybe I'll just be in my feelings and only corruption them all, and then kind of throw some seeds if it's like split damage. But most of the time, I really actually don't seed the Valks. I kind of just single target pump them so they get more. Well, I mean, put dots in them, then I shadow bolt them so I can get more damage on them, because there might be one that's like, 90%, and then the other one's at 60%, and the other one's at 70%, and you're seeding them, and it doesn't really help that much because like the 70 and the 60% are gonna die, but the 90% is creeping on along this edge, and you're still throwing seeds into the pile when you should actually be shadow bolting. That's, in my opinion, that's what I personally do. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. Valks come back down. You see a Warlock get taken and a Hunter get taken, so this is obvious. I'm just full pumping into the one Valk that's there while keeping up my cooldowns, or keeping Haunt and everything else up on the boss. With Defile coming up, I'm making sure it's not me. There's an Infest. I have Shadow Ward up. Just keep that up the whole time. Now, the next Valkyrie wave, is it a 3-pack? It is not a 3-pack because the Warlock got taken again. So this is just another, it's the same thing I just said. So that's the whole phase. That's the Valkyrie phase. There's nothing you need to do. In terms of your Infernal, you have to use your Infernal 9 times out of 10 here. I've had to use it. I didn't, because we only typically have to use them when there's 3 Valkyries in the middle, right? There's always 3, but sometimes they take a Warlock and a Hunter. When they do not take a Warlock and a Hunter, so they're picking 3 up, and you have 3 moving, you have to kill 3 of them, or 50% 3 of them. That's when we almost always use an Infernal, and we went in the order of Pinky Clit was first, and then I was second, and then Felt Mechanic was third. And you just listen to whatever your call it is, and then you use your Infernal, right? Just listen, because it helps. The Infernal stun is a pretty big deal. Going through the phase, there's nothing new here. So transitioning into the phase, we don't pull him back here because he leaves at 40%, a little bit over 40, like 40.5. And so we don't care if people get taken on this next one, because the platform will be back. You already know that. Platform's coming back up. The first thing I do over here after jumping is I didn't have to use an Infernal just now, right? So my Fell Hunter's already out. You're calling your Fell Hunter back to you so you can send him on the Raging Spirits, right? So he doesn't die to that mob if he's up, or die to the Remorseless Winter if he's still alive. But if you use your Infernal, then you need to, this is when you would hard cast a pet out. Right now you just stop what you're doing and you're just casting a pet out. You have more than enough time to do it before the Raging Spirit comes out. If anything, he's way over there. You'll miss a couple cooldowns. So you're hard casting your pet out, your pet's back out, you're sending him on Raging Spirit, you're full pumping the spirits. This is the same thing as the other phase. Keep your dots up on all of them. Going back into this one, it's the same shit. Now here you're gonna get, this is where the Harvest Souls, where you guys get sucked down, your raid does, and goes down there to the Frostborn cavern thing. I try to put up, I know it happens right away. It happens within like 7-8 seconds of this phase starting. So I immediately will try to dot everything. Put a UA to Corruption up and a haunt on Lich King if you can. Keep your UA and your UA Corruption Agony on the Raging Spirits if you can too. We got lucky and we only had one Raging Spirit right here. We usually have two. And if that, this got way easier because we only had one, but all your attention needs to be on both of these Raging Spirits, not Lich King. Throw some dots on them if you want to rot them down before you go to Harvest Souls. But right now, if there was two up, you should be pulling everything you can into them before you get sucked down. And then we get down to the Harvest Soul room where you can't really do much, right? Down here, there's a couple things that you can do where you just run to the middle of the platform down here, right? Where you just follow your team members. If you have trouble following them because you can't see them, then just literally right click follow if you need to. You know, if you have to do that, you shouldn't have to, but if you do, do. So right when you get down here, you'll notice my health is low, so I blow a Hellstone. I use a Hellstone right now, and then now what I do down here, almost every time I'm down here, I try to Corruption these ads, mouse over Corruption him. It doesn't, you know, if you get a couple, you'll get one tick off at most, but whatever. Usually Boomy Starfire, or Boomy Starfires, or Boomy Starfalls, mages have a little mouse over Frost, what's it called? Ice Lance, that's what it is, sorry. Ice Lance, it gets them all, it's not really that big of a deal. Also, since I use the Hellstone, this is when I take the opportunity to make another Hellstone. There's always a time down here when you can, like right now I'm crafting it. You just need to stop for 2 seconds. It's a really tight window and you can just do it and just see if you can make it. So you want another Hellstone up at all times. When you get back up here, there's always a defile, right? There's every single time there's a defile up here. So just expect you're going to get it, hover over your boot and boot to the middle or wherever your defile is. Like you see how he got it. He ran it way over there. I don't know where he ran it. Just make sure you run it out of the way. Finish off the Raging Spirits that's up here. Then go back into Lich King. Lich King's already dotted when I first get up there. Finish the Raging Spirit, pump into Lich King. This is the Vile Spirit part. These are actually kind of easy to avoid for the most part. You just kind of sit in the middle, like you see how we ping pong them back and forth or whatever. Some people go in a square like this with the Lich King. Some people go around. Some people go through the middle. Just whatever your strat is. The best thing you can do is just stay on him. This is where I'm bad because I always move a lot. I'm scared to get hit by the Vile. So unlike Pinky Clitty where he's down here, much better Warlock than me. He's really, really good. He's comfortable with this and he stands there and just he knows his character. I've been demo the entire expansion until like last week or 2 weeks ago, so this is like I was like panicking. Like I am not about to get died or not about to die from these Vile Spirits, right? So I cheat over here even more because I'm just like I don't want these guys even coming near me. But just keep the dots on the boss. Make sure you can. It's like you're always safe in front of the boss because he doesn't have a frontal cleaver or anything. So just stick around Lich King and you'll be all right. Harvest Souls again down here. Do the same thing you did last Harvest Souls, right? Then you're back up again. That's the fight. That's the entire fight. Make sure you don't touch the Vile Spirits. You have your boots if you didn't need them for the defile. So make sure if a Vile Spirit gets close to you, you can just boot. For draining, just go into your escape phase as normal and just get into a good position and plant. Like I like to go way over here like I did last time and just plant so I can get some good drains in rather than draining right here and then having to move because the Vile Spirits are close to me. You know what I mean? And then that's the rest of the fight. That's it, boys. I hope to help somebody. If you are watching, if you know more, I know I'm not the smartest person in the world. If you have more knowledge, put it down in the comments and I'll pin your comment or whatever. Any other tips that can help anybody else watching this. I don't know. I didn't really post this as reviews. This is not edited if you couldn't tell. I'm talking 1,000 miles a minute. I just wanted to get something out there because everybody was asking me to do like a what's going on in my brain while I'm doing this. And this is exactly what's going on in my brain while I'm doing it. Good luck to you guys out there, bro. I hope you guys kill it soon. Hopefully before the buff. And if not, oh well, the buff's coming. You guys will kill it, all right? Hit the follow button. I appreciate you. Check out the stream. It's a vibe. I don't know what else to say, but good luck.